Everybody, and a very warm welcome back to Apex Racing and Chill. My name is Zappy, and we are live with another round, and it is here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. This is round 8 of the 12-round championship. We've got interesting things coming up into the weekend in terms of championship fight, and we've got 3 new drivers in here, along with a brand new team. So we just got outright on the track for right now, and we'll go over to racing in a little bit. But just before we go racing or into qualifying we go, let's have a look at the championship standings, followed by the new team that we've got tonight, which actually is formed by the 2 newbie drivers who are brand new around here and are currently racing for the very first time and have got themselves a team. So that's an interesting thing to see. If they probably just came in, so finding a team could have been difficult, but they've got their team on their hands. And great to see you, Kane, and definitely would love to have you back soon. I think you've missed quite a couple of races, unfortunately, but hopefully it'll be nice to see you soon. So just let's have a look out on the track, rather. And there we go. That is going to be in front of a screen, the Drivers' Championship right there. And look at the gap between the top 2. Ryan Cooper and GT is only separated by 6 points. Courtesy the brilliant and fantastic racing weekends from GT. The last 2 race weekends, 94 points out of 100 at Interlagos for him, and 100 the previous round at Spa. We've got 5 minutes, actually 8 minutes in total before qualifying. So now looking at this top 2, 600 points and 606 points right there, heading into Red Bull Ring around round 8 of the 12-round championship. But interesting races coming up ahead. So RLD then in P3 with 585 and 504 with 504, sorry, for Empty Ned. Then it is C. Jones with 474 in the 5th place. 6th place comes Smoke Dog with 460, nearly 29 points ahead of Umpire who's on 431, just ahead of Nitu, who's got 413 points, with Page on 392, 10 ahead of Wolf, who's on 382, with Lacendra de Silva on 322 and 254 for Monte Carlos. And we have Dylan from the previous week. He scored 80 points. That is a brilliant debut, not to forgetting Kane, who hasn't joined us just yet, and Mickey, along with Smokey Tom, who are the new 2 drivers. Before we move over to the Teams Championship, this is going to be your brand new Constructors team, ladies and gentlemen. This is your new team reveal. New Constructors team formed by the 2 newbies, Freedom Fighters Motorsports, FFM, as they'd go by the name. So that is going to be interesting to see, but obviously they're not in the Constructor Championship just yet, since it's their first race. But here are the standings looking like in this session before going into the race and qualifying. Nimti scored lead up ahead of Apex Originals by with 1,110 points to their name, with Apex Originals who've got 1,016 points. Chemistry Racing's got 934, exactly as Pures Racing, so that could be a bit of an interesting fight between Carl, Smoke, and Ryan and Lacendra Silva. So that's going to be interesting. With Team Papaya, they've got 647, and Nitu has over 400 points in that team. Along with that, now looking at Racing Hones, who are in the second last place with 635 points. Then it is Team Payne, who've got 456 points. That's, ladies and gentlemen. Nitu took pole. One thing would be interesting to see whether they could convert that pole position into a race win, though, because that's going to be very important for them to do. So Chapman in P2, a fantastic second place qualifying session just in the second race right here. What about RLD? Currently in P3 as well, just ahead of GT, who on their final lap just wasn't able to do enough to move forward. Well, Monte Carlos put a decent lap actually in P5, while Smokey Tom in P6 ahead of Empty Net in P7 and Mickey in P8. In the bottom 5, it is Alessandro in P9 with 1 Paravid in P10, Jones in P11, then comes Smoke and Wolf Club, the two, sorry, they're not teammates, actually Smoke and Wolf in P12 and 13. So let's not waste any time, as we should be getting into 18 laps of racing right there, which actually should see us 25 minutes of racing for race 1, and whatever happens in there will be reverse grid of race 2. So we are out on the track. We should get the 5 lights to go out and racing to begin. Well, we have Nito on pole, Chapman in P2, and RLD in P3. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights are out, and we go racing here at the Red Bull Ring. And I think that might have been a jump start by GT, and he's certainly going down there. He certainly got a jump start for sure before the lights went out. It's a pretty decent start by Nito, but he goes absolutely wide, so maybe not. But Chapman's going to come right behind in that GTR, and they've all gone towards 10-2 and 10-3, as it's going to be 3 wide almost in towards 10-3, as RLD's going to go on the inside of Chapman. Or does he go on the inside of Chapman? Yes, he does. He might run a little bit wide, but he does not. Chapman's going to be around the outside. He might have the opportunity to stick around, while Nito's lost out. Monte Carlos has managed to jump up Nito as well, as Mickey's in P5. GT has taken a big dip there then. While Empty Net is in P6, GT is down in P12. Not sure what exactly happened. They certainly almost did a jump start, and after that, they've only been falling behind. Are they now going to try and get past Jones there? Will they get past Jones? Not quite sure, as we're just looking out through the grid. A lot is happening while Chapman has been overtaken by RLD right there, and RLD has taken the lead before the end of lap 1. That is brilliantly done, but Chapman might come back at him there, as he's almost going to go switch to the side-by-side of RLD to get past him, and he has gotten past him there. That is brilliant. Racing to go while Monte Carlos runs a little bit wide. There might be an opportunity for Monte Carlos to get past him, as well as Monty's going to head towards the wall. He's going to nearly take out... Oh, he almost nearly took out Mickey there. That could have been nasty. As I was saying, it's going to be interesting to see what Nito and Monty are gonna do so far in this race. I think Nito just has managed to keep P4 to himself by with a challenge from Empty Net right behind. While Monte Carlos made a mistake in front of your eyes there. But so this is now going to be interesting battle. Both. I was supposed to say teammates, but no, actually both the new drivers, we shall say, Chapman and Mickey, are in the top 3, 1 and 3, the 2 drivers and the 2 new drivers. But RLD is certainly not going to leave Chapman behind. Chapman, remember, has actually had a couple of opportunities maybe previous week, but couldn't convert it into a victory. Can they do it now? They've certainly got a lot bigger opportunity, and also it looks more realistic now in terms of, I think whether they can get it or not, that's another take. But, you know, at the moment they've got Chapman, RLD, Mickey, but certainly he's keeping them behind, at least for the moment, though. At least he's they're on the same tyre, apart from Mickey, who's on the soft tyre, while Chapman and RLD are on the same exact tyre. So they've definitely got, at least in terms of strategy, unless you're trying to undercut or overcut one or the other driver, there isn't much you could you could really differentiate from these drivers, while Mickey right behind these guys, who's on a set of soft tires, should certainly have a better opportunity. And I think it is his opportunity right now, because he's on those softer compound tire, and he certainly should be faster than those ahead. And if he is to take any advantage of those tires, it has to be right there, and he's already putting those fast sectors there, while Nito is in P4. Meanwhile, Empty Net and 1 Paravid are fighting each other, and a lot is happening. What do you guys want to see, the racing at the top or in the midfield? Because a lot is happening. Remember, wherever you finish in this race, you get points. So as long as you finish, you will be awarded points. Unless you do to get out or DNF, you won't be. But As long as you're out on track and finish behind these guys, doesn't matter how many seconds or laps behind you finish, you'd still be getting those points that are going to be awarded for that position, while Jones is in P12, just right behind GT, who's still unable to get past Wolf Club, who's in P11, and now the racing at the top still looks the same, while Mickey is looking very closer, and actually ever closer to RLD there, so he might try and get past him there. He hasn't been able to do so just yet, but we could be getting that. We could be getting that Mickey get past RLD there, and as I said, you know, their tires are pretty much going to be the usage here. We're into lap 4 out of 18, so you have to take calculations as he runs a little bit wide, but so does RLD. Both of them are almost gonna, almost Mickey followed RLD there in terms of running a little bit wide, while Chapman looks okay and smooth so far, a second almost ahead of RLD, who has got Mickey right behind him. So this could be interesting here, but I mean the likes of oh, there's a car. Okay, that might have been actually a big spike again. As almost saw I almost saw there was a car that goes back or into the barriers, but certainly it did not. But looking at other parts as well, what about, I'm sure we've got the fight at the front, but certainly it's not looking likely that it could be, though. I mean, it could turn around any time and Mickey could get past, but you never know. The D2 now is arriving up at the back, but I'd certainly believe that there'd be other drivers fighting each other at the back of the field, and Jones has got past, or no, GT and Jones both have got past a couple of drivers there, as Lissandro is right behind Jones there. Carl might have the opportunity to stay ahead of Lissandro there, or will he stay ahead though, because easy chance could form up for Lissandro to get past the Lamborghini driver. That could be now interesting as he defends the inside line, or rather the racing line there into the last 2 corners. This could be shaping up there as he runs a little bit wide. It's going to be Lissandro, or will it be Jones, who's going to be up ahead of one another into turn 1. He switches to the side, has got the inside line into the next corner. He's going to go for it on the inside, or he's going to stay around the outside. Well, Jones absolutely goes wide, but certainly defends and just does enough to defend their position so far. Brilliantly they have done so, and as far as positions at the top are concerned, are actually exactly the same as well. We're into lap 5, we'll head into lap 6 at the end of this one, so we'd pretty much enter the 1/3 of this race. But that too, not yet. 7/10 now between RLD and Chapman, which was almost 1 second at one point, and now look at that. RLD is gaining on Chapman as well, so sorry, on Mickey's, or oh, actually that is interesting, and you know why he's gaining on it. Mickey's got a penalty, so Mickey will need to slow down at the next penalty serving area, and he does slow down there, which may allow Nitu to get closer, because a top 3 fight or a top 2 fight might turn a top 4 fight here, as Nitu will be arriving soon as well. Well, one Paravud, despite not so good of a qualifying, finds himself in P5 there, starting on the softer compound tires, so making the most of it out there. Well, the top drivers are as it is, along with those behind, but this could be now interesting between Smoke and Tom there. Both Smokes actually, one is Smoke Dog, the other is Smoky Tom, so 2 Smoke drivers. Who's going to be smoking one, or who's going to be smoking the other driver by overtaking them? We haven't got that answer just yet, but we might just have it very soon. While at the back, GT still in P9 ahead of Lissandro and Monty along Monte Carlos. With Wolf and Jones is down in P13 and still on those medium compound tires, so he certainly might have just made a mistake there, as it's a certain race, I mean, going at the moment, you know, in terms of tires, medium tire runners is certainly, and look at that. Look at the difference between Chapman and RLD, the 2 drivers. It's not massive difference, but still the front tires, especially the rear front left tire, it is a lot, has got slightly more usage. Sorry,
Okay, I hope I was. Yes, I was correct, and especially in fact, both tires actually. Apart from both front tires are have got more wear on Chapman's car than they have got on RLT's car. Both have got the medium tire, and yep, Mickey's tires are now dropped down by quite a margin there. You could definitely see that visible, as those tires, definitely tire wear would have dropped, but Nitu, who's on the medium tire, is definitely getting closer and has got ever closer to Mickey there to get past him. Bolted, I remember, Nitu made a slight mistake and lost the lead even before the end of lap 1, so that was a lot. While Smoke is still ahead of Smokey is still ahead of Smoke, so that is certainly one thing to look at. Same goes for GT and Lisandro, but Numtined looks like he might have he might have made a mistake. Yep, we can see those bumpers flashing red. That means even if they don't have the damage, they might have lost the car and collided with the barriers there, which definitely would have certainly compromised their race, or at least their progress in this race, while ones ahead of them would be still staying ahead of them so far. So lap 7 out of 18 now. Chapman still leads by over 9/10. We aren't really getting much action right here, but I feel like drivers are just taking it. Drivers are just taking it as they like. Drivers are simply getting it through, and eventually, as it gets interesting to see, getting a lot of support for Mickey. Actually, that's nice to see in the comments. Hope you're enjoying all of this, but Mickey, so far at least, it doesn't look good for him. His tires have drastically fallen down as compared to the top 2 drivers whose tires are in better conditions. But I think anyways now, only in a few laps, time for a pit stop would come up for Mickey. And despite falling quite behind for a couple of laps, Mickey out of nowhere puts the fastest fair sector there. That is interesting. Was Mickey saving up on something? Was Mickey just cooling their tires off? Because sometimes the tire temperatures could get to you as well, because that's going to be interesting. Oh, they run a little bit wide into turn 4. They certainly have they? Because that spike is actually quite making it difficult to see. But the gap between Nitu and Mickey at the moment, 1.8 seconds between the 2 drivers. Both of them over 2 seconds right behind our race leader. And so far, 6/10 between RLT and Chapman. Both of them are not yet fighting each other, at least. And I feel like, anyways, as soon as the first pit stops are over our way, the mandatory pit stops, everybody's got their tires, everybody's got their fuel. Only then you'd pretty much see everybody fighting for positions, which at the moment they just will not be doing so. So definitely watch out for that, as Wamparwood is into the pit lane now. The first driver to pull the trigger to get off those soft compound tires. While Monte Carlos is sliding around as he'll get past Numtined there, and Numtined will make the move around the outside of Carlos, as Carlos has actually came in. No, that's not actually Numtined, that is Monte Carlos, who has been overtaken by Numtined as he nearly goes into the back of Numti. But that was a spike once more. I'm not sure what's wrong with the spike though, because at the top it's not a lot, but as soon as I switch to the guys at the back, you see a little bit of it. Will Monte Carlos come back at Numtined on the inside line into turn 4? He's got the opportunity to make the move. He'll certainly send it on the inside line of turn 4, but he runs a little bit wide. Will that allow Numtined to come back at him? That will not allow Numtined to come back at him there. They'll stay where they are, and Monty has taken the position back. Nearly slightly having worse condition than Numti's tires. Numti will now go on the inside into turn 4, because that is not really the best corner to overtake, even if you attempt. Alessandro's in P9 with Smoke in P10, Wolf in P11, Jones is in P12 with Wamparwood in P13, but he has made his pit stop so far. What about Mickey? Is he going to be heading into the pits? He's definitely got nothing on those tires right now, and he will head into the pits right there to get off those soft tire compound, and would jump over to the medium tyre, understandably. So lap 10 out of 18. We're past the halfway mark of this race so far, and I think, as I said, overtakes and position switches would possibly happen after the first stops, after the pit stops are over, and then drivers would certainly push. But also, this is probably in the ending laps, I'd say, because even those within 1 second or within half a second of each other are not really fighting each other. Or maybe if you are Numpty Ned and Monte Carlos, you might want to fight each other off there, and especially if you're Numpty, you'd like to get past Monty there, which he's just not able to do right now. But it's interesting. I mean, at the moment, this is pretty much the only battle that we have right now, don't we? Apart from the top two, that could be interesting as well. Actually, the top two drivers are in. Both of them look on decent tire wears, but especially if, as far as tire wear is concerned, at least the front tires. The rear tires, there's not much difference in terms of wear that we are seeing, but Dylan's front tires certainly look in a bit of a worse condition than is. Ooh, that's a little bit, you'd have thought again he's going to go a little bit wide, but maybe he hasn't done so right there. What about RLD? Certainly he's going to possibly be thinking to not make a move just yet. I mean, he's closer. I'm not saying that he can't make a move or he just can't make a move whenever he wants, but still he's got enough gap, and if he gets a better corner exit sometime soon, he could easily try and get past Chapman there, but he's simply holding himself just back just yet, I'd say, which could be a lot of reason, could be strategies, and I think certainly he's not yet trying to do. Now this is ever closer to the top two. Maybe RLD has had us from the gums box there. They might try and get past Chapman there, or will they try and get past Chapman? Chapman might run a little bit wide. You'd have thought they're going to run a little bit wide, but maybe not. What about Nitu? He's in P3 with a penalty. Should be coming into the pits at the end of this lap. Same pretty much goes with Tom, but I think Tom might come a little bit lap or two later. Maybe probably on the next lap. Same goes with GT. They've got just enough fuel to come in, while Mickey is now in P8 at the moment, while the top two are still going at it, and both of them are going to head into the pits now. This could be interesting on the pit exit, because if one takes more fuel than the other, I think that would certainly make it or break it in here on a track where not many drivers have managed to overtake or managed to switch positions right here. We could switch in the pits between Chapman and RLD. Who's gonna be coming out better than the other? Tires are off, old tires off, new tires on. And I'd assume they'd be on a set of softs rather than a set of mediums, which obviously it'll be showing just right now since they put it on those tires. But what are we going to be getting? The fuel is out, and RLD is out of the pits, and he's got out ahead of Chapman. They've nearly got same amount of same amount of fuel as well, but just a little bit, just by only a few inches or millimeters, whatever you want to measure it in. RLD's got less fuel than Chapman, and those few liters or few drops of fuel has less drops of fuel has gained RLD a position there out of the pit exits, but Tom who'd be getting out of the way at the end of this lap. They're out of fuel as well. The top two will reunite with their top position, and now Nitu, who would be on a set of softs, is out on the track on brand new softs, has jumped up over ahead of Mickey. I wonder if they've overtaken them, or they have simply overcut them on the exit of the pits there, and now he's on softer tires. It's the same as the top three, as well as native top three. Smokey obviously will get out of the way so far. What about drivers racing here? GT and one Parawood, both of them are currently out within, not within a second, just 1.1 seconds the gap between the two. Empty Net in P9, right behind Monte Carlos. He's got Alessandro, Smoke, Jones in P12, with Wolf Club in P13. So now looking at this, the top two are back to where they were before the pit stops, and they're on their own positions there. I think Mickey, who was challenging for the top, at least the top two or the top three for podium earlier, now is over 4 seconds down on need to. Maybe they might have just stayed out a little bit longer, might have just stayed out a lap or two longer, and sometimes that's the way. Overcut does not work for him, good for him at all, and I think that might have been the case right there. Well, RLD looks strong and leads the race so far. Will that allow? That might have been RLD getting a little bit too close for comfort for him to be still leading. He certainly is still leading, but not yet. Four tenths between the two. Chapman, who was leading the race so far from pretty much from the start of the race. As soon as he got it, he had it till the pit stops. In the pits, RLD did better than Chapman there, but you know, this could be interesting right out there, and this is getting ever closer. Chapman, who managed to hold off RLD for the longest of times before the pit stops, is going to be on his way to try and overtake RLD there. He's going to switch to the outside line into it, turn one, but RLD will just place his car beautifully to defend. But has it done enough though? Maybe not, as he's going to run a little bit wide on the exit of turn one, and they both will be side by side up through turn three. Who'll be later on the brakes? Chapman's got the inside line. He might get past him even before the braking zone, or has he though? He has not, but he'll certainly have the inside line, as RLD's just going to give him enough space around the outside, and on the inside Chapman gets past RLD and takes back the lead of the race. With only 4 laps to go at the end of this lap, he's definitely got a proper chance to take the win, and he'd certainly be looking for it after very good racing last week as well. Yeah, I believe he got 80 points or so, didn't he? Did Chapman in the previous race. On the previous race weekend, there's going to be a chance in round 7. We're here in round 8, race 1. It is RLD who might try and come back at Chapman. He certainly is not yet doing so, or is he though? Because this could be interesting, and exactly as I was saying, as soon as we are done with the pit stops and those final laps begin, we would surely see the fight for the lead, and we are seeing one here at the ending laps of racing so far. RLD will be putting all that pressure on Chapman. Chapman runs a little bit wide, but RLD might have done the same as well, but certainly he's going to be ever closer to him right there. Into turn 3, will there be an opportunity for RLD? I don't think so. I don't think he'll be close enough to be making the move, or will he though, because he might send it on the inside line. He does send it there, as Chapman now will have to give some space on the outside line, as RLD loses the car slightly as a bit of a moment, and he's going to push him wide. He's going to push him absolutely wide, and Chapman's lost it as he's spinning round. He's nearly done a 920 spin there, and that was both the drivers' bravery, commitment, and absolute no chance of backing out of either driver. He's going to drop down to P3 on the exit there. They were fighting side by side. RLD didn't back out, but so did Chapman, and that was always going to end in a bad way. Certainly it's turning out good for Mickey there, because now he was far away from the top drivers. He certainly got a chance at the top 3 and try and get ahead of Chapman. But what happened there? I mean, the fact that we caught it live, we caught it on screen of what exactly went wrong. Wow, now look at this. I think now Mikey might have a chance at Chapman as well. 7/10 between the two drivers, while Need2 has actually managed to pull away. Sure, he's 2.4 seconds behind RLD. Certainly, these tyres might not be in a bit of a good condition, but at least Need2's got a chance of a P2. You know, let's go back to Spa where he got a pole position, but he definitely did not have a race that was pleasing, and he raced to forget. Certainly had there, so definitely I think as compared to that, so far at least, he's doing a brilliant job by looking at the other race, other positions and other drivers in this race. GT is in P5, right behind Mickey Smoke. Tom is in P6 with Monte Carlos in P7, while we see Juan Parawood is in P8, only 2/10 behind Monte Carlos. He might be going for a move right there around the outside in the turn 4. Could there be an opportunity for Juan Parawood to get past him? This could be opening up new doors, or is it? Because by the looks of it so far, Monty has just done enough to defend his position and is not yet gonna allow Numpty Ned to get past him, or will he get past him there? Because look at this then. Oh, sorry, that's not Numpty Ned actually, that's Juan Parawood. If I've called the wrong names, apologies about that. Juan Parawood will have the opportunity to get past Monte Carlos, while Numpty Ned is right behind, fighting with Lisandro. Potentially with a move for P9 for position for fight for P9 will Smoke at Jones, but the two teammates are down in P11 and 12 with Wolf Club who's in P13. RLD in P1 still leading by 2.7 seconds. Chapman still stays in P3 with Mickey who's in P4, but he could be in lots of trouble from GT there in these remaining two final laps. GT and Need2, GT might have a go on Chapman as well. GT's got the soft tyres along with Chapman, but certainly Chapman's tyres are not in good conditions, as good as GT's, at least the front tyres. Actually, GT's tyres are almost similar conditions, both front and rear, but he's at least got the front tyres that he's going to need for a grip. While Mickey's almost sends it on the inside line and nearly goes into the back of Chapman there, but just has to back out in no time and just does well for the moment. As RLD 2.6 seconds he leads by, he's going to head towards the final lap of the Grand Prix, the final lap of this race, which would certainly mean not... I mean, it's nice in terms of what's going to be happening, but look at this. So far, Need2 is over 3.2 seconds out of the next car, while Chapman is in P3, but he is in big trouble, I'd say. It's a final lap. You could do expect Mickey or GT to have a go at one another, and I think Mickey will do it, give it everything to try and take the podium from Chapman there. Did he tap Chapman there on the back? He slightly had a bit of a movement from the rear of his car. Mickey's got all the chance he needs to, while Chapman goes defensive on the inside line. Mickey's going to hold the outside line. I'm sure Chapman's not going to leave him at all. He's definitely going to be trying be later on the brakes. Chapman runs a little bit wide. Mickey might go a switcheroo there. He's going to be on the inside. He might try and get the better exit on Chapman, and they're still going to be side by side. One more opportunity will be opening up into turn 4. Mickey's got the inside line. Chapman's got the outside line. Who will be the better driver to go into it? Mickey might go a little bit wide. No, he doesn't. He gets the braking zone beautifully there, and he still stays ahead of Chapman. Remember, this is the final lap of the Grand Prix. This is all or nothing. This is all or nothing right here. While we have somebody spun round at the back of the field, but at the moment, this is the front ears of the field is what we're going to be focusing on. Looking at this, Mickey has still got the job done so far, while RLD is going to be just making his way around the final corner now, and he's going to stand on the top step once more and wins race 1 here at the Red Bull Ring, takes victory ahead of Need2, who qualified on pole but will get P2, and he surely will be happy with that, while GT and Chapman might have a chance there. Well, Mickey, for his first race here with Apex Racing of this season, comes up in P3 with a brilliant podium, and after a lot fight, nearly consider a winner or race lead chance for him at the front. Chapman this incident with RLD. Still a P4 is a decent result, while GT in P5, followed by Smoke in P6. Monty is in P7, a decent result for him as well. 1 Parawood in P8. Well, Numpty and Lizandro complete the top 10 with P9 and 10. Smoke and Wolf in P11 and 12, while Jones has they haven't actually taken the checkered flag yet. But what a race. Ooh, that's going to be Jones. He's definitely struggling there, and he makes another contact with the wall. He's got nothing on those tires. And do you know why? He's spinning around. Definitely might have not been able to manage those tires nicely. Well, Wolf Club has taken the checkered flag as well. And absolutely brilliant. I mean, at least at the end, that was fantastic, and especially brave racing from Chapman and Mickey both to trust each other, a level of trust, and going at it. And brilliant as it is, as Mickey gets that podium, and well done to them, and congratulations to our top drivers and RLD as he steps on the top step once more. Brilliantly done by everybody right there. So now I think we'll just be moving to race 2 in a few moments time, but before that, so it'll be reverse grid of whatever happened in this race. So RLD won ahead of Nito in P2 with Mickey in P3. They'll be the bottom 3 of the next race. But some of these results, I think brilliant racing from everybody. Chapman gave it his all, but unfortunately that incident with RLD meant his race was pretty much compromised. I think still a P4 is certainly a very good result. While GT, you kept fighting in that top 10 as Bot got himself in P5, and Tom, remember, racing for the first time here as well, also got a P6, so that is a nice result. All 3 new drivers who've just recently joined us in the top 6 is a brilliant entry for them. While Monte Carlos in P7 with 1 Parawood in P8. Numpty in P9, Lizandro in P10. Smoke in P11 with Wolf Club and Jones in P12 and 13.
Thank you, Zabby, for your race commentary there on race number 1 this weekend at the Red Bull Ring. I'm now joined in the post-race interviews with 3 drivers. We have 1 Parawood, RLD Racing and GT. They're going to answer a few questions in regards to the season so far, the race that they've just taken part in, and as we come close to the final few rounds of the season, how they're going to manage the pressure moving forward for the last few races in the season. Okay, so Rich, you came first in race 1, so we'll come to you first. It was an eventful race. Looking back, where did you feel that you won it?
Probably the start, to be honest with you. The Pally jumping the start helped quite a lot, to be fair. I reminded him, but that is probably what helped. It gave a bit of a relief.
Yeah, and I think everyone found it really difficult to overtake around this track in the GR3s. I think it were a lot harder than what everybody were expecting. So it kind of made qualifying and the start even more important, didn't it? Especially as you're going into turn 1 and turn 2 on the first lap. You know, not much room for numerous cars to go around at once, shall we say. But you seem to have the pace through there. So you're now joint championship leader. Is that going to change how you approach races going forward for the remainder of the season?
I wouldn't say necessarily no. Potentially, like you look over your shoulder a bit more as you get towards the end of the season, but you sort of take it race by race, don't you? Then just tackle it as it comes.
You do. We've got a tough, obviously, race 2's coming up. And then obviously next weekend we've got a tough weekend again at Suzuka in the GR2s. So you can't really get too carried away or look too far ahead, I guess. 1 weekend at a time, and then obviously we go to a couple of tracks that we've not really done before. So 1 weekend at a time. Red Bull Ring, it's all about flow and precision. Did the GR3 car feel natural to you?
Yeah, I've always felt quite good round Red Bull Ring, to be honest with you. It's one of those that once you sort of master the tricky corners, the rest sort of does it all for you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So but yeah, you do sort of get into a flow state while you're on it, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, so in race number 2, obviously you're going to be starting from the back of the grid.
Yep.
What's your strategy going to be heading into race 2?
Just switch it straight into an undercut, try and stay out of traffic, and just do your own race. Stay away from other people as much as possible.
Very good, very good. Right, well, best of luck for race 2. And yeah, let's see what happens going into race 2 and see what happens with the rest of the championship now you're into the title battle. We'll move on to your teammate now. First time joining us for post-race interviews. We've got Woody with us this evening. We're a good way into the season now. How do you honestly assess your campaign so far this season?
Mostly positive, to be honest. I think I've definitely progressed from last season. It's just a case of being more confident, really, going forward. Yeah, so mostly positive. Can't complain.
No, I don't think it helps though when everybody else is improving at the same rate as what, you know, like we're improving. Everyone's improving to some degree, so you've always got to find ways, haven't you, of finding that extra pace and improving where you can.
Yeah, and I think it's actually watching what the top guys do. I think if you learn off them and then add your own little bit to it, just see where you end up in then, basically.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Throughout the season, there has been flashes of strong pace that you've shown. What's been the biggest thing holding you back from turning that into podiums?
Probably decision making at crucial points, especially first corner and first lap.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, if you watch these top guys, they have a plan before the race and they're quite confident and they believe in that plan and they just seem to follow it through. Where I can be a little bit indecisive at crucial points. I think if we can get on top of that, my pace isn't an issue, really.
That's definitely fair. And I can relate to that to some degree. You look at the top lads and they're super confident right from the race start. And I know some of us can give a little bit too much space or hold off a little bit around that first corner.
Exactly.
And then you're playing catch up then, aren't you? Because, you know, you're 4 or 5 seconds away from the first and second car, and you're constantly then having to push that a little bit more. You know, what's the one area you feel that you need to sharpen before the next round? Obviously, you know, you've still got race 2 to go this weekend, but moving into the next round when we go to Suzuka and the GR2s, what would you say is the one main thing that you need to sharpen moving into that round?
Well, because it's GR2s, it's definitely keeping the rear end of the Lexus in check. And I suspect going forward, keeping the tyres in an operating window is probably going to win your race. I feel like if you overheat them too much, your race is over. And I feel that it's going to be won or lost, basically, the race. I don't think it's going to be about no pace. It's purely keeping the tyres in a perfect operating window.
Yeah, no, I can.
And
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with you on that one, 100%. Do you kind of feel closer to the front than what the points would suggest? Because I know sometimes it definitely looks like it, but do you feel it?
It's probably a fair reflection, in all honesty. I think looking forward, look, everybody in the league's quick, and like you said, everyone's improving. I feel like the fact that I can see where I need to improve, to me, is actually a positive. It means that I can definitely progress up the field. I just need to iron certain stuff out. But yeah, it's probably a fair reflection, in all honesty.
Yeah, I definitely think it does seem to be, you know, especially when, you know, we all practice with each other through the week and you're always on the pace with the front guys. So I do think, you know, you are probably closer to the front than what the points suggest, and probably, you know, what a lot of people see when reviewing the replays. So, you know, I think improving in the areas that you know that you want to improve in, and you know, just constantly building that confidence up,
But yeah, exactly that. A lot of it is confidence. Like if you watch some of these top guys, you'll hear them all say they get in the flow, especially in racing. Practice is I can get in the flow. When it comes to actual racing in the league, I tend to tense up a little bit. So I think that's what I need to work on, just relaxing a little bit more.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just, more confident, basically.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, best of luck for race 2, and best of luck for going into the next round in Suzuka next week. Okay, Pally, over to you. You're becoming a regular. This weekend, though, normally for good reasons. This week, not the smoothest weekend for you. What made Red Bull Ring difficult this time round?
I mean, in honesty, in practice I had pretty good pace, was comfortable with the quality lap time, felt confident on the track, confident with the car. I just don't know what happened on race day. It's just combination of different mistakes which cost me time. Obviously jumping the start at the beginning, which I don't do. I don't know what I was thinking. Again, I think possibly a bit of nerves got to me. Is a full track. It's difficult to overtake. I know that you need to get good track position at the beginning. So yeah, just a combination of mistakes, and then started the race with. I thought my brake balance was set to 4. It was on 0. It took me a couple of laps to find out. I was wondering why my cards were not turning. So yeah, I made a couple of errors, and yeah, that's what kind of ruined a podium position. Possibly it could have been if I didn't lose so much space or time at the beginning. But I managed to recover back to 5th in the first race, which I can take credit on, because it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're still joint championship leader despite that. Does it kind of feel like damage limitation this weekend, or would you class it more of a missed opportunity?
In honesty, definitely a missed opportunity, because I've lost a few points. Even in race 2, I made a mistake, and that lost me a couple of positions, which is, I think, 4 points. I did the same thing in Interlagos on the last race, on the last lap. Come off, I lost 4 points there, so that could have potentially been 8 points leading the championship. So yeah, it's an opportunity lost. But again, obviously, I made mistakes. You learn from your mistakes, and then focus on the next race, not to repeat those mistakes. Obviously, I've done it twice in a week, but let's not get their time lucky.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, moving into the next round, and, the final few rounds of the season, how do you respond to, obviously, you've just mentioned the mistakes this weekend, and then there was a couple of missed opportunities in the previous round. What's your plan for the remainder of the season and going into the next round? Are you going to reset, or basically just come out swinging and go all out for it?
Yeah, I mean, reset, get myself together, refocus. Obviously, I'm more comfortable in the GR2s than I'm in GR3s. Suzuka is. I did the track last year on pad. I'm on wheel now. I do feel faster on the wheel and more comfortable on the track, especially with the vehicle. So I'm going to go in with confidence. Again, try and avoid mistakes, stay focused, and not try and get into too many battles and let my emotions take over. So just try and stay cool and calm. But yeah, I mean, the next few tracks I'm fairly confident in as well. So Majori, that's one of my favourite tracks. Yes, obviously we've not raced properly around there, but I'm pretty comfortable and confident on that track. And then the special stage, that's yet to be decided what vehicle we're going to be in, and then we'll just see where I stand in practice on that. But yeah, reset, focus, and yeah, try and get as many points as I can. I know it's not going to be difficult, and obviously Rich is starting from the back in this weekend's race in race 1, but I'm not taking that lightly as an advantage, because you can come back from the back at any point, so with a strategy. So it's still going to be like, I need to race. I'm not just going to take it lightly.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it is definitely looking like, the final race of the season, the special stage round Le Mans is looking like it could very much be a title decider. Obviously, there's going to be 100 points up for grabs for the winner of just that one race there. So, staying consistent for the next few rounds, and then when we get to the final round of the season, who knows what's going to happen. But one thing's for sure, it's definitely shaping up to be a very, very close battle between you and Rich for the remainder of the season for the title. And then from there down, from third all the way down to sixth, any of them places are up for grabs. So it's definitely going to be a very, very close end to the season, I think, for everybody, and everyone's just going to have to stay focused and make sure they're on their A game every single week. So,
Yeah.
smashing job. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time, and best of luck for race 2, and obviously best of luck for the next round going into next weekend as well in Suzuka.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, lads.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much to all three drivers for your post-race interviews there this evening. Some definitely good insights into how the season's progressed so far for you, and obviously how you're preparing for race number 2 and the coming rounds towards the end of the season. That does bring race 1 race replay to a close. I'd just like to take a minute to thank all of the drivers that are involved. Zabi on comms for doing the commentary as well on stream. And thank you to everyone that tuned into the live stream over the weekend as well. We did have record views on the live stream this weekend for race 1, which is also great to see. If you did like the video, please do give us a like, do subscribe to the channel, and drop us some comments in the comment section on YouTube. Let us know what you think to the content, let us know what you think to the racing, and we will be back later on this week with race 2 replay from the Red Bull Ring to find out how the reverse grid went, and also some more interviews with the drivers as that race comes to a conclusion. And then in terms of other content coming up this week, we do also have the second episode of our LMU race to Apex and Chill Racing team. We have episode number 2 of that, which this week is at the Fuji track in the GT3 class cars. I would all recommend you stick around this week to watch that video, because that was a very, very entertaining race. Chaotic to say the least. Then, like I say, we have the race 2 replay that's coming up as well later on this week, with Zabi on comms for the full race replay on there. And then moving into the weekend, we will again have 2 live streams next Sunday evening at 8 o'clock UK time. We'll have my PLV stream and also Zabi's live com stream round Suzuka in the GR2 class. So hopefully you'll be able to stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications button so you get told every single time we upload new content. Thank you all for watching, and for now, we'll catch you next time.